Hey everyone, thinking about a career at the University of Manchester.
Oh, yeah, one of the UK's top universities.
Exactly. So we're doing a deep dive today straight from their careers website to help you see if it's the right fit for you.
Awesome.
We'll uncover what makes special, how to navigate their job site, and even throw in some cool facts about famous alumni.
Sounds good to me.
So to kick things off, maybe we could start with a bit of background about the university.
Sure thing. Well, one thing that's really interesting about the University of Manchester is that it's not new to the scene at all.
Right. I mean, it's a pretty well-established institution.
Yeah, we're talking almost 200 years of history here. Since 1824, they've been dedicated to research and scholarship.
Wow. Almost 200 years.
Yep. So they've been a major player in academia for quite a long time.
That's super impressive. But how does all that history translate to today's job market?
That's a great question. I think you can really see that legacy reflected in the way they've built their careers website.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, it's incredibly user-friendly, whether you're looking for a faculty position, a research role, or even something in administration.
Okay, so it's easy to use, but what should I actually be looking for specifically when I'm on the site?
Good point. One thing that really jumps out at me is their focus on research impact.
Like real-world applications.
Exactly. They highlight how their work is contributing to solving real-world problems. Things like tackling climate change or advance in healthcare.
So if I'm passionate about research, that makes a difference. That's something to really pay attention to.
Absolutely. It's a big part of their identity.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
They're not just focused on publishing papers. They want to see their research actually make an impact out in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
So when I'm looking at these job postings, how do they actually describe their ideal candidates?
Let me think. They often use phrases like collaborative, innovative, and results-oriented.
Those are the key buzzwords.
Pretty much. It seems like they're looking for people who are not only experts in their fields, but also strong communicators and team players.
So someone who can not only do the research, but also explain it clearly and work well with others.
Right. Multifaceted individuals.
That's good advice for any job seeker, really. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about what makes unique. I noticed they mentioned being a global institution quite a bit.
Oh, definitely. They have a diverse student body and faculty from all over the world.
Creating a multicultural environment.
For sure. And they really emphasize their international partnerships and collaborations. They even have a whole section on their website dedicated to global research initiatives.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Imagine working on a research project with colleagues from different countries and cultures.
Right. It'd be such a great opportunity to expand your horizons.
Absolutely.
hmm
And I bet this global outlook is also reflected in their alumni network.
You bet. They have graduates who've gone on to do amazing things all over the world.
Speaking of alumni, UM has some seriously impressive names associated with it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like who?
Well, for starters, Ernest Rutherford, the father of nuclear physics, was a professor there.
Wow, that's a big one.
Right. That's a pretty big deal.
Definitely. And don't forget Alan Turing.
Oh, right. The
Yeah.
genius mathematician who basically laid the groundwork for modern computing.
Exactly. His time at was crucial to his groundbreaking work.
It's incredible to think about the impact these individuals had on the world, and it all started at
It's amazing.
But they also highlight some more recent alumni too, right? People like Kapil Sharma, the comedian, and Kathy Newman, the journalist.
Exactly. It shows that isn't just about producing academics.
Right, they're producing individuals who contribute to society in all sorts of different ways.
Exactly. A wide range of fields.
So it seems like has this rich history, a strong emphasis on impactful research, a global perspective, and a pretty impressive track record with its alumni.
It's quite the package.
It's a lot to consider for sure.
It is. But what's most important for anyone listening is to figure out if aligns with their own career aspirations and research interests.
Right. Don't just get caught up in the big names and the reputation. It's about finding the right environment where you can thrive and make a real contribution.
Couldn't agree more. It's about finding that perfect fit.
Exactly. So with all that said, let's move on to the city of Manchester itself, because it's not just a place to work. It's a vibrant city with a lot to offer.
You got it. So let's dive into that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's do it. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2024-1228, part 2 of 3.
Exactly. So with all that said, let's move on to the city of Manchester itself, because it's not just a place to work. It's a vibrant city with a lot to offer.
You got it. So let's dive into that.
Perfect. Let's do it. So I've heard great things about Manchester, but what's it really like to live there?
Well, the website highlights Manchester's cultural scene, and for good reason. It's got a really rich history in music arts and even sports.
Music. I know Oasis and the Smiths are from Manchester, but what about today's scene? Is it still a hub for music lovers?
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
The city is still a major hub for music. You've got tons of venues, from small pubs with live bands to larger concert halls.
So I could find pretty much any genre I'm into.
Yeah, pretty much. Anything you're looking for. That's awesome. And I've heard they're pretty serious about football in Manchester.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Football is huge there. You've got two of the biggest clubs in the world right there, Manchester United and Manchester City.
Wow, so the city practically breathes football.
Pretty much. It's a
Yeah,
big part of the culture.
that's so cool. So there's definitely a lot to do outside of work. But what about the cost of living? Is Manchester affordable for academics?
Hmm, that's a good question. The website doesn't get into specifics, but compared to London, Manchester is generally more affordable.
Okay, so that's good to know, both in terms of housing and overall expenses.
Yeah, exactly.
That's definitely a plus. So we've talked about the culture, the affordability, and of course the university itself. But what about the atmosphere on campus? What's that like?
Well, they emphasize a sense of community on their website with plenty of opportunities for collaboration and networking.
I see.
They mention various social events and clubs for staff, which seems like a nice way to connect with colleagues outside of work. Oh, that's nice. So it's not just about research and teaching, but also about building relationships and having a fulfilling social life.
Exactly. It's about the whole experience.
That's important, especially when you're new to a city.
Definitely. And speaking of feeling welcome, the website mentions a dedicated support system for international staff.
Oh, that's great. What kind of
Yeah.
support do they offer?
They help with things like visas, housing, and just generally settling into life in Manchester.
That's a really nice touch. It shows they care about the well-being of their employees no matter where they're from.
Yeah, it seems like they really go the extra mile.
So far, seems like a pretty attractive place to work. But we haven't talked much about the actual application process.
Right. They do have a whole section dedicated to that on the website.
Okay, great. What do they highlight?
Well, they outline the steps involved from creating an online profile to submitting your CV and cover letter.
And do they talk about tailoring your application to the specific role?
Yes, definitely. They emphasize that quite a bit. It's pretty standard advice, but it's always good to be reminded, for sure. And is there anything else that stands out in that section?
Let me see. Oh, they mentioned something called the values.
Values. What are those?
They're basically their guiding principles, the things they really believe in and prioritize.
Interesting. And how do those values factor into the application process?
Well, they encourage applicants to demonstrate how they align with those values in their applications.
So it's not just about my skills and experience, but also about showing that I share their values and would be a good fit for their culture.
Exactly. They're looking for people who will not only contribute to their research and teaching, but also uphold their commitment to things like excellence, diversity, and social responsibility.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It seems like they're really trying to build a strong and cohesive community within the university.
Yeah, it's all about finding people who are a good fit on multiple levels.
Right. And is there anything else about the application process that's worth mentioning?
Well, they seem to be pretty transparent about the whole thing, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, transparency is key.
Definitely. And they even provide contact information for their recruitment team in case you have any questions.
That's helpful. So to recap, we've got a historic university, a vibrant city, a supportive environment, and a clear application process.
It seems like they've got all the bases covered.
What more could you ask for?
Well, it all comes down to your individual goals and priorities, right?
Yeah, of course.
Does offer the right research opportunities, the right career path, the right environment for you to thrive?
That's the million-dollar question.
Exactly.
And ultimately, you're the only one who can answer that.
That's the truth. It's all about personal fit. Hashtag TTS, the deep dive episode 2024-12-28, part 3 of 3.
That's the truth. It's all about personal fit. It sounds like the University of Manchester has a lot to offer, but you're right. It's all about finding that right fit. What if doesn't quite match up with what I'm looking for?
That's totally okay.
Yeah.
There are so many amazing universities out there,
Right.
each with their own unique strengths and specialties.
Boss.
The key is to explore your options and find the one that really aligns best with your personal and professional goals.
Okay, so how do I even begin to navigate this vast academic landscape? It can feel a little overwhelming, to be honest.
I hear you. It can definitely be a lot to take in, but that's where a resource like academicjobs.com can be super helpful.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. What's so great about it?
Well, it's a fantastic platform for anyone considering an academic career. You can search for positions by field location, university, you name it. It's like a one-stop shop for your academic job hunt.
So it's not just about finding any job. It's about discovering opportunities that actually excite me.
Exactly. Maybe you've always dreamt of teaching at a small liberal arts college or conducting research at a cutting-edge tech institute.
Right.
Academicjobs.com can help you uncover those hidden gems and connect you with institutions that really match your passions.
That sounds amazing.
Mm.
And it's not just limited to the UK, right? I
Yeah.
could potentially find positions at top-ranked universities globally.
Absolutely. Academicjobs.com features listings from all over the world so you can explore opportunities in different countries and cultures. It's a great way to broaden your horizons and consider a wider range of possibilities.
Wow, this opens up a whole new world of options. But I have to admit, the academic job market can be pretty competitive.
That's true, but don't let that discourage you. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, good point.
Focus on building your skills, gaining relevant experience, and networking with people in your field.
So it's about continuous learning and growth, not just landing the perfect job right away.
Exactly. Embrace every opportunity to learn, expand your knowledge, and connect with others who share your passion for academia. The journey itself is just as important as the destination.
This has been incredibly insightful. So to recap, for anyone considering a career at the University of Manchester specifically, you can find all their open positions on their user-friendly careers website.
And for a wider range of academic opportunities, including positions at top-ranked universities globally, be sure to explore academicjobs.com. It's a fantastic resource for anyone looking to make their mark in the world of academia.
Awesome. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from OUM's rich history and vibrant city life to practical tips for navigating the academic job market. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought.
What kind of impact do you envision making in the world of academia? What are you truly passionate about? Let those questions guide you as you explore your options and take the next step in your academic journey.
Great advice. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the University of Manchester and beyond. We hope you found it informative and inspiring.
Until next time, keep those minds curious and those ambitions soaring.